Good morning. Hi, everyone. Oh, fun. Okay, I see a couple people on YouTube already. Maybe some of you are going to join on Instagram eventually. Good morning. Happy Saturday. If you're watching this live, happy whatever day it is for you if you're not watching this live. We're super excited to be here, Flex and Flow. You can see we're not in the studio today. We are in my home. So welcome, everyone. This is your virtual invitation. Even though COVID, I can't invite you normally. I'm really excited about moving with all of you today. No matter whether you were celebrating yesterday or absolutely not, maybe you were celebrating something totally different than Christmas. Maybe you were celebrating Christmas. Regardless, this time of year, this kind of deep, dark, and cold winter is a time that I think a lot of us feel, well, we end up eating a lot more kind of comfort food. Super yummy, super good. I'm all for comfort food. Heavy, warm, cheesy, bready, whatever it is. But both the holiday yesterday and just this time of year in general has me thinking that it would be a good time to do a little digestive flow. And pretty much every yoga flow that we do is awesome for digestion. But today we're going to be focusing a lot on twists, so get ready for some of that. We're going to be rinsing things out, letting ourselves go. If you have to take a bathroom break in the middle of class, do it. That's a great sign. And of course, if you're watching this recorded, you can always pause and come back. But if not, just jump back in whenever you're ready and follow along as needed. So when you're ready to get started, let's begin in child's pose on our mat. And I'm Ruby, for those of you who I don't know. So begin in child's pose. Your choice here. I have been really liking a knees together child's pose. It brings more of a stretch into your low back, and especially if you spend a lot of time hunched over a computer or a cell phone, that low back stretch is going to be really needed. If you've got tight hips, or if you just really like this knees wide variation, feel free to head there instead. We're going to let the body drape down over your thighs, extend your hands forward in space, drop your forehead to the mat. Begin to pause and settle down here. Feeling the support of your mat, feeling the support of the earth underneath you, and maybe try gently rocking your head side to side on the mat. Massaging your forehead, massaging your third eye point. Bring some stillness back into the body. We're going to begin to engage the breath. Inhales and exhales through your nose. The mouth is lightly closed, but you've got this super powerful rhythm through your nose. So powerful that you can imagine that maybe you could fog up a cold window with your mouth staying closed. You're pressing the air through your body. And these big breaths are waking us up. They are warming up the whole system and starting to get us ready to move here on your mat. So take 3 more rounds. That's your Ujjayi breath if you're following along with this yoga breath, or just some really powerful rhythmic breath of your own. We're still down in this child's pose. Breathe in here. When you're ready, begin to tip your fingers on the mat, lifting up through your elbows and lifting your palms up and off. You'll feel a stretch right away through your shoulders and your arms, maybe a little bit even into your wrists. Take an inhale here. Exhale, release your palms back down towards the mat, but keep your elbows activated. And then begin to lift up into a tabletop pose, stacking your shoulders over your wrists. If your knees were together or they were wide, bring them back underneath your hips, so keeping your knees hips distance. On an inhale, we're going to begin to peel the heart through the belly, or through the arms rather, reaching the heart forward in space, and ever so slowly tucking that tailbone without crunching your low back. Begin to arch here, tucking your tailbone under, head dropping down towards the mat, and spreading your shoulder blades super wide away from each other. Twice more, just like that. Some gentle cat-cows to invite movement into the body. Begin to wake up. Breathing through. Strong, steady breaths. Last one. We'll really peel those shoulders away from each other and then come into a neutral spine here. So your neutral spine is a nice straight spine. The crown of your head is reaching forward and your low belly is engaged. Belly button is reaching up towards the spine. Take an inhale. On an exhale, your left fingers are going to reach up and open. Your hips stay level. The twist is happening in your upper body here. And then thread the needle. So left finger is reaching underneath your right arm. Begin to roll onto that left shoulder without dumping the weight there. So keeping some activation in the core and in the low body that lifts you up and off of the mat. Your right hand can come up and overhead. And then if you'd like, you might take that right hand around your low back and connect it with your left thigh, a little half bind. Your choice, palm up, palm down on that left hand. Depending on how flexible your neck feels this morning, maybe your gaze turns all the way up towards the sky. We've got a big inhale. Hold for the exhale. Right arm reaches back up and overhead. We'll bring that right hand back to the mat in front of your face. Press firmly into the palm to lift your left fingers back to the sky, twisting up and open, and then both hands back to the mat. Take those 3 rounds of cat-cow here, so reaching your heart through the biceps, and then tucking under, resetting, rinsing out before we head to the other side. Being really gentle with our bodies this morning. Warming up with a lot of ease and care. Last round. We'll come back into that neutral spine. Engage through the belly button, really important for our twists. I'm gonna wake us back up on Instagram. Right fingers are gonna reach high, bringing them all the way up and overhead. And then thread the needle. Right fingers reaching underneath your left arm. Rolling onto that right shoulder. Opening up to the side. Take a big inhale, maybe that left hand reaches high. And maybe it twists around your low back, coming and connect with your right thigh for that half bind. Opening up. Wringing out, rinsing out. Re-extend the left arm. Left hand comes back to the mat. Right fingers reach up and open. We've got that counter twist. And then both hands come back down. Again, 3 rounds of cat-cow. If there are some other little movements here from this tabletop, little wiggles, maybe rolling through the hips, maybe some barrel rolls in the body that you want to take now instead of cat-cow, feel free to add those in. Again, this is your practice. Everything that I've got here is an offering. Last round, we'll come back into this neutral spine. This time we're going to walk the hands about a foot forward in space, lower down through the chest, and the hips press up towards the sky. Now, forehead might be down at the mat here in your puppy pose, or if you've got a little bit more space in your back, you might bring your chin and your chest down to the mat instead. Totally up to you. Again, think lengthen the spine rather than crunching. Take an inhale. Hold for the exhale. Maybe you deepen the stretch. One more big breath. We're going to activate through the elbows and the palms. Walk hands back underneath your shoulders. Find that tabletop. Tuck your toes. We're going to press the hips all the way up and find the downward facing dog. Woo! First downward facing dog of class. Pedal out the feet, bending into one knee at a time. Lifting up and out of the shoulders here. Breathing into it. Again, if you've got little wiggles in your hips that you want to add in, maybe you've got to shake one foot and then the other out. Totally up to you. Take your time to settle in. Down dog is such a foundational posture. It's somewhere we're going to come back to over and over again throughout class.
So make sure that you're feeling really good in this foundation before finding some stillness in the body, both heels reaching down towards the mat. Pads of your fingers are pressing into the earth. Inhale, come up high on the tiptoes. On exhale, bring your knees all the way back to the mat. Untuck the toes. We're going to begin to extend your right leg back in space. Flex through your right foot, really drawing the toes in. But keep your hips level, so your right hip is still down in line with your left. Take an inhale here. Exhale, left fingers are going to walk forward in space, and left fingers reach up to the height of your ear. Reaching your fingertips forward. Big breath. Now notice what's happening in your low back here. If that low back is right away beginning to crunch, that means we got to activate through the belly a little bit more, keeping that nice neutral spine super long. Reach your fingers and toes long in opposite directions. And then, your choice, hold right here or gently draw elbow into your knee, arching through the back, really pulling that belly button in. Re-extend. Twice more. Draw your knee and elbow together. Last time, re-extend. Draw everything in. Re-extend right here, super duper long. Drop your left hand back to the mat. We're going to shift your right hip to stack over your left. And then option to stay right there, just opening up through the hips, or option to squeeze your right heel in towards your seat. Just that little opening through the low body. Take a breath. Level off the hips, re-extend that right leg. Keep holding it there, tuck the toes, and then press your hips to the sky. Right foot is still reaching back. You've got a three-legged dog. Take a breath. Drop both feet to the mat. Again, take a moment, pedal out, do what you gotta do to reset. Stillness in the feet. We're gonna bring knees all the way back to the mat, and your left leg extends back when you get there. Press that heel back in space. Gonna walk your fingertips forward. Let them rise. Now again, check in with the low back. Find the length in the spine. See if you can stretch everything a little bit farther than when you first arrived. Take an inhale. Choose to hold right here. This is a great exercise. Or challenge your balance, draw knee to elbow. Re-extend. Knee to elbow. Re-extend. Knee to elbow. Last time, we'll re-extend. Drop your right hand back to the mat. And then we're going to stack your left hip over your right. Option to stay right here. This is kind of a modified version of your scorpion dog, if you're familiar. Or draw your left heel in towards your seat. Funny little twist through the low body, opening up. Big breath. Level off the hips. Re-extend that left leg back. Tuck your right toes. And we'll send the hips and that foot to the sky for three-legged dog. Take an inhale. Exhale, both feet come back to the mat. Pedal it out. Find your downward facing. Super strong foundation, lifting up and out of the wrists. Pads of the fingers pressing firmly into the mat, and hips high. Big breath. Come up to the tiptoes. Bend at the knees, look at the space between your hands. And then we're going to press your shoulders over your wrists, finding a high plank. Bend at the knees, take your hips back, squatted dog, and then shift it forward, high plank. Last time, bend at the knees, squat your dog, look at the space between your hands, and this time, we're going to take two big steps up to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Take a moment and pause here at the bottom of your forward fold. Feet are hips distance, gentle bend in the knees, melting down here. Let the upper body hang. Let the head be heavy, maybe gently nodding the head yes, or shaking the head no. Notice where the weight is in your feet, bringing it centered in your foot, all four corners of the feet grinding down into the mat. Left hand is going to plant right into your face. Begin to straighten through that right leg and draw your right arm up and overhead. Gaze might turn up towards that top hand. Take an inhale. Exhale, both hands back to the mat. Right knee bends, left fingers reach. Opening out to the other side, big breath. Both hands back to the mat, bend into both knees, head is heavy once more. Halfway lift and lengthen. Fold on the exhale. Inhale, hands are gonna sweep all the way up and overhead. Exhale, draw your hands into prayer. Bring your thumbs to your heart. Gaze forward here. Inhale, hands sweep up and overhead. Exhale, right foot steps to the center of your mat. Left toes are gonna step all the way to the back. Right away, drop that back knee, untuck the toes. Palms come together up and overhead, drawing them away. And then draw your thumbs into your heart. Gently begin to twist towards the right side. Starting with this twist in the upper body and then hooking the left elbow outside the right knee, pressing your hands together and chest up and open. Breathe into it. Softening down. Take an inhale. On an exhale, bring your hands back through center. Both hands come to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. And we're going to step your right toes back to meet your left. Inhale your high plank. Exhale, begin to press it back, squatted dog. Hips high, chest pressing back towards your thighs. Roll forward again, high plank. Elbows in tight, we're going to lower all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, hands plant by the rib cage or tent. Elbows squeeze in, lift head, chest, and shoulders. Lower back down. Hands plant, we're going to press up into that tabletop. From your tabletop, right leg extends back in space. Flex through the back heel, level off the hips. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, left fingers reach forward. Hold here, or draw knee into elbow. Press it back, or knee to elbow. Last time, reach everything long. Knee to elbow. Reach it long and hold this time. Fingers and toes extending long. Begin to bend into that back knee. Left hand reaches around and maybe it connects with your back ankle. If you don't quite find the connection, no worries, let it go. From here, if you've got the bind, press your right foot into your left hand and keeping a nice long spine, reach your heart forward in space. Breathing through here, a little bit of a back bend. Inhale, re-extend everything long. Exhale, right foot stays hovering, left hand to the mat. Tuck your left toes. Press your hips, your heel to the sky, three-legged dog. Bend the knee and stack the hips. So we've got our full scorpion dog here. This shape might feel familiar from that variation we did in tabletop. Re-extend the leg level off the hips and both feet to the mat. Inhale, head to tiptoes. Exhale, bend at the knees, look at the space between your hands. And two big steps up to the top of your mat. Halfway lift and lengthen. Fold on the exhale. Feet hips distance apart, head is heavy. Again, pausing here for at least 3 full rounds of breath. Letting yourself hang. Letting the upper body release. Take a big inhale. And hold for the exhale. Inhale, hands are going to sweep all the way up and overhead again. Palms come together, thumbs into your chest. Find this strong Tadasana. And in your Tadasana, we're grounding down through the feet. That core is still engaged here, tailbone tucking under, low back long. Left foot steps to the center of your mat. Hands up and overhead, palms together, if that's comfortable for your shoulders. And right toes step all the way back. Again, right away, drop that back knee, untuck the toes. Got your Anjaneyasana, your low lunge. Drawing the biceps back, opening up across the heart. Draw your thumbs into your chest and start to twist the upper body towards the left. Breathing in here. Option to stay or option to gently hook that right elbow outside your left knee. Deepening the twist a little bit. Your hips are still squaring towards the front of the room, even as your shoulders twist open towards the left. Take an inhale. On the exhale, come back through center, hands to heart. Bring both hands to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes.
Lift that back knee and step to your high plank. From high plank, press your hips back, squatted dog, and then shift it forward, high plank. Press your hips back, squatted dog, shift it forward, high plank. Shoulders stack over your wrists, elbows in tight, lower all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, find that baby cobra, whatever variation in your hands you're enjoying right now, and lower forehead back to the mat. We're gonna press into the palms and come all the way into that tabletop. Left heel extends back right away. Long spine, belly engaged, reach your fingertips forward. Drawing them up to your ears height. Reach everything long and stay, or knee to elbow. Take it long, knee to elbow. Challenging our balance, using our core to stabilize here. Knee to elbow. Last time, draw everything long, hold, or we're gonna find this bind. Heel drawing in towards your seat. Right hand might come around your back. Press the foot into the hand into the foot, and lift up. Again, using belly button engagement so that we're not dropping down through the back, but keeping everything as long as possible, even in this slightly crunchy pose. Re-extend here. Right hand comes back to the mat. Keep your back foot hovering. Tuck the toes. Lift through the knee. Three-legged dog. Take an inhale here. Bend the knee and stack the hips. Scorpion. Squeezing that heel in tight. Knee pressing towards the sky. Re-extend the leg level off the hips. Both feet to the mat. Inhale to your tiptoes. Exhale, bend at your knees. Look at the space between your hands. Two big steps take you back to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold on the exhale. Inhale, hands sweep up and overhead. Exhale, take them into your heart, Tadasana. This time we're gonna take our chair pose. So you've got two options here. Either take toes together, heels wide, or keep your feet hips distance and bend into the knees, drawing the knees directly over your big toes. I prefer this toes together, heels wide variation, but this is just something you gotta feel in your own body, see what feels right for you. Your tailbone is tucking under here, so you've still got that really long, low back. Your core is kind of the pivot point. So where your tailbone tucks under, at your belly button, start to lift up through the chest. Hands up and overhead. Notice what's happening in your arms and your shoulders here. Your shoulders are softening down your back on either side of the spine, drawing them up and away from your ears, softening them. Take a breath. We're gonna sweep your right hand down, left fingers extend forward in space, open arm twist. Stretch your arms long, take a look back at your knees. Draw that left knee back in line with your right foot, pop forward. Holding here. Take both arms back up through center and fold down to your toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, both hands plant and your left foot steps back in space. You've got a runner's lunge. Drop the back knee. Hands sweep up and overhead. Hands to prayer, and then find your twist. Hooking up an elbow outside the right knee, opening the chest up towards the side. From here, tuck your back toes if they aren't already. We're gonna begin to lift up through the back knee. Now, hips are still level. This twist is really coming from your upper body, and that core is the catalyst here. Really pulling the belly button into the spine. Challenging core, challenging twist. You can just imagine your innards being totally wrung out. Maybe that's disgusting, and that is absolutely not what you want to envision here. Up to you. You've got a big breath. From here, we're going to take a big windmill with the arms to open up into warrior two. So our hands sweep wide, windmill them up and open, and spin that back heel down at the same time. One fluid motion to find warrior two. Maintain the deep bend in your front knee. Extend your arms out long. Take a breath. Flip your right palm, reach your right fingers forward in space, and then take them up to the sky. Reaching long through the side bodies. Take a breath. Hold for the exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, come back into that warrior two. Straighten through the front leg. And windmill both arms down to frame your front foot as you spin up off of that back heel, coming onto a little tiptoe. Now we're heading into our pyramid pose, and I like to step my back foot in a little bit at a 45-degree angle, squaring the hips and the shoulders forward in space. A couple different variations of this pyramid. You can keep that back heel lifted. You can draw the heel down. Either way, we're working this squaring towards the front of your mat. I'm creating a little sauna here with my fire, apparently. Your spine is long as you bend over that front leg. You can keep a little micro bend in the knee to protect the hamstrings. Take a breath. We're gonna bring your left hand outside your right ankle, and then begin to either extend your right arm up and overhead, or bring it to your right hip. Your chest is twisting open towards the right side. Your balance might be challenged here, so you might be wiggling and wobbling a little bit on your ankles. It's totally fine. But if you are, think about spreading through the feet, rounding down, and then using the connection of belly button to core to initiate the twist. Take another inhale. On an exhale, both hands come back to frame your front foot. Bend into your front knee, hands plant, and your right foot is gonna sweep all the way up and back, finding your three-legged dog. Bend the knee and stack the hips, squeezing that heel in nice and tight. Take an inhale. Hold for the exhale. Re-extend the leg level off the hips. Your choice. Either keep that heel floating as you shift forward into your high plank, or bring both toes to the mat. We're gonna move through a vinyasa here. Elbows tight. Lowering halfway through your chaturanga. Inhale, find up dog or cobra. You lower it all the way to the belly. Exhale, take the hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale up to tiptoes. Exhale, bend at the knees. Look at the space between your hands. Hop or step your way up for a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold on the exhale. Inhale, hands sweep up and overhead. Exhale, hands come into prayer. Now, once more, we've got this chair pose. So find the variation that's gonna work in your body right now. Toes together, heels wide, or framing your feet hips distance apart, bending into the knees. And I am plugging in my laptop because I forgot to do so. So you found your chair pose. Nice deep bend in the knees. Again, lower body tucks under, finding that tailbone reaching underneath. So you've got a super long low back and moving at that core pivot point to help you reach your chest up and open. Now from here, we're gonna take this into our open arm twist. This time we're heading over to the left side. Left fingers down, right fingers forward. Again, take a look down at your knees. Right knee draws back in line with your left. Maybe you drop the seat a little bit lower, challenging. Big inhale. Exhale, take your arms back up through center. Fold down over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right toe step all the way to the back of your mat. Lower down through that back knee, untuck. Reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, find your twist in this Anjaneyasana. Starting by rotating your chest, hooking the elbow outside the knee, reaching up and open. You might feel this in your shoulders, maybe a little bit in your hips. Take another. Exhale, tuck the back toes if they aren't already. We're gonna begin to straighten up through that back leg. We find ourselves in our twisted crescent. Breathing through and open through the shoulders. Super arms as you spin your back heel down and open up. Take a breath. Round down through the outside edge of the back foot or your front fingertips. Big breath. Back fingers forward in space. Flip the front palm, and we're going to reverse our warrior. Left fingers reaching up and long through both side bodies. Take an inhale. Hold for the exhale. Straighten through that front leg, reverse triangle. And then both hands are going to spin down to frame your front foot. Lift up and off of that back heel, little tiptoe here. And then if you'd like, step your back foot in about a foot, finding that 45-degree angle with the back foot. Your choice. You can also keep that heel lifted if that's what you prefer. Breathing into this pyramid pose. Hips are squaring forward. Option to stay, or option to take it into the twist. So right hand coming outside your left foot. You can either tent the fingers, maybe you've got space to bring them all the way to the mat, or you might be hovering your right fingers here. Now, everybody start with your left hand on your left hip, finding those really square hips, opening up the chest to the left side, and then from there you might extend that top hand. Again, feeling it in your body. This is your practice. Breathing through, super challenging in the core. Hopefully you feel the core warming up. As gently as you can, both hands come back to the mat to frame your front foot. Bend into the front knee, and then press your left heel up to the sky, three-legged dog. From here, bend the knee and stack the hips, drawing the heel in towards the seat. Shoulders are still squaring forward in space. Re-extend the legs, level off the hips and both feet to the mat. Bringing both feet hips distance. Begin to shift forward, find your high plank. And to melt through this chaturanga sequence, or pressing it right back to downward facing dog. Also option, of course, to keep that left toe hovering. We've got to add that for your three-legged plank. Bring your heels high. Bend at the knees. Look at the space between your hands. Your choice. 2 big steps or hop up for your forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, hands sweep up and overhead, palms meet. Exhale, hands draw into your heart, find your prayer. Take a big inhale in your nose, drawing the air up, filling the lungs. On an exhale, open your mouth, stick out your tongue, and sigh it out. Your lion's breath. Heating up the body. Once more, just like that. Draw the air in. Fill up the lungs. Hold at the top. Every little pocket of air in the body is full. Exhale, open your mouth, stick out your tongue. Lion's breath. Toes together, heels wide, or another chair variation. Drop the seat low. Reach the arms overhead. Maybe you drop the seat another inch. From here, left fingers forward, right fingers back. Open arm twist. Now, stay right here. Or hook your left elbow outside your right knee. Right palm comes to stack on top. Opening. Once more. You've got the option to stay. Or drop both hands to the outside edge of your mat. Bring your thigh, the side of your right thigh, over your biceps. And maybe you begin to transition into your side crow. Your toes might lift up one at a time, maybe both together. Gazes forward. Wherever you are, maybe you're playing around there for a moment. We're going to meet back in this big open arm twist. Take a breath. Both hands come up through center. This time, we're hanging in this chair. Left knee is going to draw into your chest. Squeezing it in nice and tight. Take an inhale. On an exhale, press your left heel back in space. Hands can either come into your heart for warrior 3, or you can keep them extending up and overhead. We're going to gently bend into the standing leg. Drop your back toes to the mat. High crescent. Nice deep bend in the front knee, shoulders and hips square forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands to prayer. Hook your left elbow outside your right knee. Open it up. Find the twist. Big breaths. Now, from your twisted crescent, Right hand is going to come to your right hip. Left fingers come to tent in front of your right foot. And we're going to find our revolved half moon. A super challenging balance. Lifting up and off of that back heel. Left hand planted underneath your left shoulder. And either keeping the right hand at your hip or extending the right hand up and overhead. Your choice. You might just be working on this balance. And this is super tough, again. You might want to work into the extension, finding more space for your back foot and your top hand. Wherever you are, we're going to gently release. Right hand coming back to your hip, bend into the standing leg, and as softly as you can, step your back toes to the mat. Windmill open, spin your back heel down, warrior two. Both hands extending wide. Shoulders stacking over your hips, gaze is forward. Take a breath. Reach your front arm, flip your front palm, find your reverse warrior. Long side bodies. Big breaths. Now from here, straighten into your front leg, shift the left hip back, right hand can hover, and we've got triangle pose for a moment. Left fingers reaching high. Maybe you want to add a little bit more shoulder opening. Left hand wrapping around the low back and connecting with the right thigh. Big breaths. Hold for the exhale. One more inhale. Re-extend the left arm and bring both hands forward to frame your front foot, shifting up and off of that back heel. Step your back foot in, pyramid pose. Now this time from your pyramid, got a little bit of a funky transition here, so bear with me. Both hands walk to the right side, and we're gonna bend into both legs, bringing your right knee to stack over your left as your seat drops down between your heels. Gomukhasana. Again, funky transition, kind of fun though. Bringing ourselves into a really beautiful seated stretch. Once you arrive, left fingers reach up and overhead. Left forearm or hand, depending on how long or short your arms are, is gonna hook outside your right thigh. We begin to twist the upper body open, tenting the right fingers behind us, and breathing here. Now, if this Gomukhasana shape is just not working at all for you, you've got a couple different options. You can just take this into crisscross applesauce and open this twist. You can also bring it into fire log pose, right shin stacking over your left. This is, again, big hip opener, but feels a little different. So feel what's right in your body, maybe test it out. From here, we're gonna come back through center and then begin, wherever you are, to lower the chest down over the legs, walking the hands forward in space. Your choice. Maybe you come down onto the forearms, maybe you just reach the fingers forward. Either way, you've got a really long spine, your heart is forward, and both sits bones are still connected with the mat back there. Again, this works whether you're in Gomukhasana, whether you're in fire log pose, or crisscross. Melting down over the legs, heart is forward. Take another breath. Hold for the exhale. On your inhale, begin to walk your hands back in towards your hips. We're going to twist back out of this to come into our next shape. So we're finding a runner's lunge at the top of your mat. Twist towards your right foot, tucking your back toes, and squaring everything towards the front. If I did that a little fast and you lost track, no worries. We're coming into a runner's lunge, right foot at the top of your mat. Hands plant. Right foot reaches all the way back up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee and stack the hips. Take a big breath here. Re-extend the leg, level the hips. Draw your knee into your nose this time, squeezing the heel in nice and tight. Take the right knee over towards the left bicep. Begin to extend your right foot out towards the right side. Spin your back heel down, drop the outside edge of your right foot to the earth, and find your fallen star. Left fingers reaching up and open. Take an inhale. Exhale, both hands back to the mat. Keep that right foot where it is. And your choice, stay right here or add in a little push-up. From there, draw your right knee into your chest. Press it back in space, three-legged plank. And your Vinyasa variation takes you to downward facing dog. Big breaths. Releasing here on the exhale. Come high to the tiptoes, bend at the knees. Work your way to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, hands sweep high. Exhale, hands to prayer. Find your chair pose. Toes together, heels wide, or feet hips distance. Hands high. Core super strong. Drop the seat another inch. I know you've got more space there. Take a breath. Open arm twist to the left this time. Left fingers reaching back, right fingers reaching forward. Stay right here, you've got options. Or hook the right elbow outside the left knee. Breathing in here. This is a great spot to hang. Or if you want that side crow again, I'll demo here. From your twisted chair, hands drop, shoulders distance. We're making a little shelf with our arms here. Bending into the elbows. We're going to shift the side of the left thigh onto the shelf that your biceps create. Gaze comes forward and hang out right here, or begin to float the toes up and off the mat. This is a great arm balance if you're starting arm balances. I found that it's one that feels pretty accessible, again, different in everyone's body, but it's a great spot to play around with if you're new to arm balancing, or if you're anyone and just like a good challenge. So we're all gonna be back up in this open arm twist. Bring both hands up through center, and this time draw your right knee in towards your chest. Super challenging this one-legged chair. We're gonna pendulum back and find your warrior three. Hands can be a prayer or little extra core work. Stand them up and overhead. Bend into the standing leg, crouching warrior. As gently as you can, drop your back foot to the mat. Find high crescent. Shoulders coming to stack over your hips. Nice deep bend in the front knee. And you'll see I just did this. Super strong and straight through the back leg. Totally great to land with a bent back knee, but then we want to press up and out. Take an inhale here. Exhale, hands to prayer. Twist to the left and hook your right elbow outside your left knee. Shoulders squaring forward. Core and upper body are lifting up and off of that left thigh. Take a breath. Left hand to your left hip. Right hand to the mat. Reaching your right fingers forward. Begin to walk them forward until your left foot gets light, and we've got our revolved half moon. Hips are still level. Hand is at your hip. Or if you've got the space, maybe that left hand lifts up and overhead. Your chest is twisting open towards the left side, but it might not have a ton of space to do that yet. So it might look pretty small here. We don't want to lose the integrity of your level hips in order to get there. When you're all done, gently drop that back foot to the mat. Again, always gentle transitions. Windmill up and open, warrior two. I know that left knee is on fire, but try to keep it bent. Take a breath. Left hand reaches forward, flip, reverse your warrior. Long side bodies, big breaths. Begin to straighten through that front leg. Shift your right hip back, and we've got triangle pose, right hand coming up to the sky. Opening up through the chest again. So this isn't a twist, but we've still got this phenomenon here of this twisting up and open through the upper body. Gaze up towards the top hand. Big inhale, exhale. Both hands come down to frame your front foot. Pop up and off of that back heel. From our pyramid pose, you can step that back foot in if you want. We've got this funky transition again. I'll do it to this side for another view. Both hands are gonna walk outside your left foot. Bend into the knees, super funky, and then begin to bring your left foot to stack over your right, or your left knee rather to stack over your right. Gomukhasana. Again, if you're working into one of these other variations, no worries. You can lose that transition. You can find another way to get there. Whatever works. We're coming into a nice seated stretch, facing the side of your mat. We're gonna take this open arm twist again. So forearm is coming outside your top knee. Upper body lifts and lengthens as you twist open to the side. Reaching the crown of the head high, drawing the belly button into the spine. Both sits bones are still in the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, chest comes back through center. Lift and lengthen. And then your choice of a fold. Walking your hands forward in space as deep as you want to go. Still keeping the sits bones on the mat. Still keeping the spine long and the heart forward. Once you've found your edge point, you can begin to round a little bit, nose towards your knee. If you're in this Gomukhasana, your feet stay flexed and active the whole time. Same goes if you're in fire log pose, crisscross applesauce, you can let the feet relax a little bit. Take a breath. Hold for the exhale. One more inhale. On an exhale, we're going to come back up into a seat. We're twisting towards our left foot to find that runner's lunge this time. So both hands plant at the top of your mat. Begin to put weight into your left foot and straighten out through the back. Twist back so that you guys aren't just gazing at my bum. Bending into that front knee. Hands plant and press your left heel all the way up and back to the sky. Bend the knee and stack the hips. Nice big opening here. Re-extend the legs, level off, and draw your knee into your nose. From here, take left knee over towards your right elbow. Begin to extend the left foot out towards the right side. Spin the back heel down, fallen star. You can always float that left foot if you want. Your choice. Now, both hands come back to the mat, but we hold the twist in the legs for a moment. Either just challenging the core right here, or adding in a little push-up. The left knee draws to your nose. Stand the left foot back, and your choice of Vinyasa variation on your way to downward facing dog. Breathing through here, melting down. From downward facing this time, we're going to bring both knees to the mat. Untuck the toes, walk your hands forward in space, and melt the hips back, finding your puppy pose once more. Breathing in here. We'll be here for a few breaths. If you love it, stay. Let the body open and melt into this shape. If you hate it, child's pose is available for you. You've got options. Now, whether you're in child's pose or puppy, we're gonna find another variation of your thread the needle. So, left, or right hand rather, stays where it is. Your left fingers are gonna reach underneath that right arm, hips stay level, and right fingers come to tent, reaching out in front of your head. Breathing through. And take a big inhale. Hold for the exhale. Opening up through the shoulders, through the chest. Bringing out the body just a little bit more. Both hands come back to the top of your mat, whether you're a child or a puppy. And then your left hand is going to sneak, or your right hand is going to sneak underneath your left. Hips level off. Extend the left fingertips forward in space. Melt down. Breathing through. Find what works for you. You're going to bring that left hand in front of your, or actually keep your left hand extended. Both hands come back out in front of your face. And then let's walk everything in. Find your tabletop pose. Cross at the ankles. You can roll back over them to come all the way into a seat. Or if you'd like, find another way to get to a nice seat. Pressing your heels out in front of you, lifting up through the chest. Big inhale here. Exhale, draw your right knee in towards your chest. Cross that right foot outside your left. We're going to begin a seated twist. So left hand wrapping around your right knee, twisting up and open towards the side. Option to stay, or option if you've got the space, to take a little bind. Left finger is sneaking underneath that knee. So finding this little triangle space in between your two legs, and your right hand wrapping around your low back. Breathing into it. Wherever you are, you've got a super long spine, lengthening up and open into every twist, rather than kind of crunching the body in order to get there. If it's not as deep as you expect it to be, let that be okay. Take one more breath. Re-extend the arms and come back through center. We're going to let that right knee fall open towards the right side. Right hand is once more going to come to tent around your low back. Plant through the palm. And we're going to press the hips to the sky as we sweep your left arm up and open. Big opening up across the chest. You can bend a little bit into that left elbow, kind of creating a goddess shape here. Drop your hips back to the mat. Extend both legs long and shake them out. Left knee draws in, heading to the other side. Cross the left foot outside the right. Start with this little hug, right arm wrapping around the left. Use that to draw yourself into the twist first. And then if you've got the space, and this might be different on either side, right arm sneaks into that little triangle, left arm sneaks around your back. Stay active through the feet, draw the crown of the head high, and maybe that gaze turns over your back shoulder. Melting in here. Release through the hands, come back through center. Bring that left foot inside your right thigh and let the knee fall open. Left hand comes behind you, palm plants on the mat. Sweep your right fingers up and overhead as your hips press high. Big inhale. Maybe you bend into the right elbow, finding little goalpost arms. Re-extend, drop the hips back, and draw both legs long. Wiggle out through the legs for a moment. And as you're ready, gently bring the spine all the way down to the mat. Bring your hips to the center of the mat. Bend into the knees and point them up towards the sky. We'll walk the feet max distance apart, and then just gently start to windshield wiper the knees, dropping them one at a time in towards center. Melting down here. Now next time, your right knee drops in towards center, left knee drops out. Let's pause. Hands can come up and overhead in a big diamond shape, or you might find a T with your arms, gaze turning over to the right. This is a pretty gentle twist. This is this is one of my favorites for sure. But if you want a little bit more, you can always take that right knee and just draw it up in towards your left armpit. Just adding a little bit more, totally up to you. I like this twist because I feel like it's a little easier on the knees, it's a little bit more accessible, and especially good for digestion. Not too tough on the old belly. We got one more breath here. Both knees come up through center, and then we're just going to find the other side. Again, gaze might turn over towards the left fingers, or you can take that big diamond shape with the hands, or an O, whatever this looks or feels like to you. And let the body be heavy. Let the mind quiet some. Finding some stillness, finding some peace. Both knees come up through center. Let's draw the knees into the chest. Wrap the arms around the shins and just gently rock side to side, massaging the low back a bit. From here, we'll bring the knees to center, still the spine. Press the soles of the feet up to the sky. Bring your hands to clasp, and then press the palms up and overhead. Just a big, funky stretch here. Drawing the heels high, drawing the palms high. And then draw the knees back into the chest, wrap the arms around the shins. Draw your forehead up to meet them, and bring yourself into the smallest, tiniest ball that you possibly can, taking up as little space as is available. From here, on your next exhale, gently release everything long on the mat. Heels pressing down towards the bottom of your mat. Hands can come to rest on either side of your hips, palms either facing towards the sky, or hands coming to stack over the belly button. Close down through the eyes. Slow down the breath. Find a few moments of stillness and quiet before heading about the rest of the day. Letting the body receive the benefits of your movement, of your practice. Settle down. As gently as you can, begin to bring movement back to the body. Slowly, carefully working your way to a comfortable seat, a comfortable place to close out class. Maybe crossing the legs, maybe coming back to sit on the shins. Hands either rest on the thighs or hands meet at heart center. Just take a moment and send some gratitude out towards everyone who is practicing with you today or who will be practicing with you in the future in spirit. Sending some gratitude out towards whoever needs it today. A little extra thanks, a little extra love and caring. Thank you for being here. As always, we are phasing out our free Saturday classes. So this is actually the last free Saturday morning class of 2020. On January 2nd, that's next Saturday, we will be practicing 108 sun salutations together as a community. That class is free. You can register on our website, but we will not be doing these regular YouTube lives, Instagram lives. If you would like to join us for 108 sun salutations, we're hoping that we can have our biggest Zoom party yet. It is a Zoom, so you'll be able to see the other people that you're practicing with. You can have your camera on or off, and you can do as many of the sun salutations as you want. Hopefully you'll join us for that. Again, the link to sign up is on our website. It's flexandflow.org/108. And yeah, that's it for today. We've also got a free class on New Year's. If you're looking for more for yoga, that's New Year's Day at 5:30. Thanks everyone for joining me. Hope you feel warm and well digested, and we will see you on the mat soon. Have a good one.